Hey guys! I thought today I would take you on a little bit of a vlog and show you how to make some Geode bath bombs. Oh, I've got a bit of glare there. This is the first time I'm trying it, so we're just gonna kind of follow along, see if it works. Last time I did a DIY that was like vlog style and brought you guys along with me. I got some good responses, you guys seem to like it, so we're gonna try and do that again. Just gotta water my plants. I'm gonna get all the materials ready and then be back in a snap. So I'm going to be following this website. I'll have it linked in the description box below if you'd like to see, because, I mean, it's not my idea, it comes from someone else, but I just wanted to give it a try. And I'm just going to get all my materials ready. So I have a couple of soap dyes and soap fragrances, and I know this is not accessible to everyone, so if you don't have soap dyes or you can't afford it, you can use food colouring as well. Because it's such a small amount, it's not going to stain your bathtub and it won't stain your skin, so it's all good. So the first step is to combine half a cup of baking soda, a quarter of a cup of citric acid, and a quarter of a cup of cornstarch into a bowl. Also they've said to drop the rubbing alcohol right in, but I know from my experience making bath bombs before that can cause it to react and then the bath bomb won't fizz up later when you put it in the water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it inside a spray bottle and gently spray it in to cause as minimal reaction as possible. So the tutorial says half to 1 tablespoon of rubbing alcohol depending on the humidity in the air. So I think because it's a little bit dry right now in my room, I'm going to do 3/4 and see how I go. And if the mixture is still too dry, then I can just add a little bit more if needed. Oh gosh, I don't want to spill this. Oh. Hey, I didn't spill it. Cool. Alright. And they suggested 6 drops of essential oil. I just have this lotus flower fragrance oil. That was about 6 drops. Right. Let's put the lid on things so I don't spill it everywhere. And try and stir it quickly so that you minimize any reaction. Because it will react, it'll fizz a little bit, but we don't want it to fizz too much. You guys know I've made a couple bath bomb tutorials on this channel before. Normally I don't use rubbing alcohol, so this is new for me. But I mean, as far as I know, it's totally safe for your skin. And I think the benefit of rubbing alcohol is that it evaporates really fast. So normally when you use water and oil in a bath bomb mixture, you need to leave it for a while to evaporate. But this will evaporate really quickly, which is good because the bath bombs will harden up very quickly. So you want the texture to be like wet sand where it'll hold its shape when you crush it between your fingers. I think this one needs a little bit more moisture because it's not quite holding its shape. So I'm just going to add a few more drops of rubbing alcohol. You need to be really careful that you don't pour it in really just tiny drops and quickly mix it to avoid as much reaction as possible. And usually with bath bombs you want to add oil, but I think because we're adding coconut oil later on when we do the inside with the salts, that's probably why we're not using oil right now. Yeah, that's perfect. See, like that? I compress it, it holds its shape and it doesn't fall apart. That's what we want. And I think I'm going to add a little bit of colouring as well. I got this colouring back when I did the gemstone soap DIYs. So I'm just going to add a little bit. It's black because I want the outside to look like a geode. If you wanted to do black and you don't have soap dye, you can actually buy black food colouring at most supermarkets. So that's a good option too. Alright, I think I'm happy with that colour. It's like a dark grey, which is very nice. Alright, so I had some bath bomb moulds from a while back because I've made bath bombs so many times. But I can't find them. I think they might have been thrown out by someone. However, I picked this up last time I was in IKEA. It was in the clearance section for $1. So I think we're just going to cut these up and use them as molds because we're just doing half a cylinder anyway, so that'll do fine. These are so weird, they're like little pears. Also, for those of you who already follow me on Instagram, you already know this, but I like to post little previews of what I'm going to be making. So if you want, I'll leave my Instagram in the description box below and you can get behind the scenes look into what I'm making and see it before everyone else does. Okay, let's cut open these weird looking bulbs. Also, I got this knife from Officeworks and it is so nice. Like, have you ever had a really good craft knife and it's just the best feeling ever? I think this is going to work, guys. If you want to use actual molds, I'll have some links to where you can buy them on eBay and Amazon in the description box below. Also, some people were wondering what happened to my leg, if you saw it on my Instagram story. So it's been a really bad leg for a while. It's dislocated probably 5 times in the last 3 or 4 years, which is not good. And it dislocated recently again, and usually it'll just dislocate and I'll pop it back in and it will be fine. But this time a tendon ripped off a piece of bone because it just hyperextended or something when I fell onto it. So I've got a little bit of bone floating around inside my joint, which is not good, and I have to have surgery probably pretty soon. So it's been a bit of a challenge. I've been in like a leg brace and on crutches for the last 2 weeks or so. It's just made life a little bit slower for me, that's all. But it hasn't stopped me. Alright, so the next step is to fill this up with the bath bomb mixture. We're just going to go around the outside, kind of line the inside of it. All good, guys! I found my bath bomb molds. Yes. Okay. I like these a little bit better because they're a perfect circle, so they'll slide out a little bit easier. These ones I've collected over the years from eBay. This one was from Kmart. It was like a Christmas bauble, and it had a nail polish inside or something. If you're watching this around Christmas time, get clear baubles. They're really good. I'm going to give these a bit of a clean out because they're disgusting, and then we're going to use them. So you want it to be thick enough that it will hold its shape, but not too thick because then we don't have much room for the Epsom salts to go inside later. For a more natural look, make the edges a little bit jagged. And really compact it as much as you can with your fingers, because the more compact it is, the less likely it will be to fall apart. We really don't want these to fall apart, we want them to hold their shape. So I actually quite like this recipe. I feel like it sticks to itself really well. And with the rubbing alcohol, I ended up using more like a tablespoon. It said half to 1 tablespoon, but I think a tablespoon is probably best. Put these somewhere where they can sit undisturbed for a little while to dry out. And the time it takes to dry will depend on where you live and the kind of humidity you have. I think I'm going to put mine on my desk because it's underneath an air conditioner and that'll help it dry out. Alright guys, so I'm back. It's been about 2 hours and these have dried really well. Normally bath bombs take like 24 hours, so I think the rubbing alcohol was a good idea. Okay, so to make the crystals on the inside of the geode, I'm going to be using Epsom salts and coarse rock salt. This rock salt especially has a really nice texture. So we need to take 3 tablespoons of salts. So I'm going to do a mixture of Epsom salts as well as the rock salt. Both of these can be found at the supermarket. I got these from Woolworths. So here are our little bath bombs. What we want to do is we want to do 1 layer of white salts and then another layer with coloured salts. We're also going to need some coconut oil. The reason we're using coconut oil is because it easily goes from liquid to solid at room temperature. We want to take a small amount of coconut oil and just melt that in the microwave. I'm going to do that right now and I'll be back in a sec. Yes, this looks so good. Look at that, guys. I think I'll put it back in here just to work with. So I've just loosened them so that we know we can easily get them out later when we need to. I have my melted coconut oil right here. So the next step is to take some of the salts and add colouring to them. So you can use food colouring or soap colouring. So I'm going to put a little bit into another container. I just cannot get the lid off this one. Alright, we're going to do blue first. That's okay. I've added a few drops to that. So that's becoming a very vibrant blue. Let's see if I can get this open again. Like, it's not one of the ones where you squeeze it. Maybe you have to push it down. That's it, you have to push it down. So I've got this beautiful purple colour happening here. I'm going to put the lids on the food colouring because I will spill it. So to assemble these, we first need to put a layer of regular salt in. And it's said to use a little bit of coconut oil, like just a few drops, to attach it. So I'm just going around with the crystals, trying to get all up the sides. I'm too lazy to get a spoon, so I'm going to use the top of these little pear things. So you drop a few drops of coconut oil in, and because coconut oil solidifies, at a certain temperature, it should hold everything in place. And in the tutorial it said to be careful not to use too much coconut oil, just the bare minimum, because if you use too much it'll affect the fizziness of the bath bomb. Now as a last step, I have some of these edible glitters that are used for cake decorating, and I'm actually kind of excited to put these around the edges. Alright, so I'm going to pop this out very carefully. This sat in the freezer for about 10 minutes and it's already ready to go. First of all, let's take a look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? Now the reason that I'm using edible glitter instead of regular glitter is because this is going to wash down the drain, and regular glitter wreaks havoc on the ecosystem. It's really, really bad for the ecosystem. So edible glitter, safe for your body and biodegradable. Okay guys, so this is how they turned out. I'm so happy with these. They're so much more beautiful than I thought they would be. And I'm gonna put these in my bathroom and I can't wait to use them. I've done a little test with some of the leftover material so you can see how it reacts in the water. As you can see, it's super duper fizzy and it fizzes for quite a while, and it does dye the water a really beautiful colour, but when you rinse it out it doesn't stain the ceramic, which is really, really good. If you'd like to see where I got the recipe from, I'll have it linked in the description box below. And also if you make this yourself, please tag me on Instagram so I can see it and like your photos and all that. Yeah, and let me know if you like these more relaxed, chit-chatty DIY videos, or if you prefer my more structured and to-the-point videos, because I would like to know what you guys think and what kind of content you want to see from me. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video.